with their song, Are You Really Here? Check them out. Check them out. Hi, welcome back. This is Lena Jones. I am here with you for the evening, and my guest will be on in probably another 15 minutes or so. But right now, we're going to talk about love. This is my love tip. Believe me, I'm no expert. I just want to say thank you to those who wish me to get well. I put a picture out on Facebook saying it's 6th day. Took a picture of me in the doctor's office, and I got a lot of love on that. So I want to thank all of those people on Facebook that gave me that shout out. Facebook was the only place I put the picture at. I didn't put it through the other social networks. It's just really hard for me to take pictures. I'm trying to get used to that. So, if believe me, if I'm taking a picture, it ain't because I really want to, and I'm like, oh, look at me. Not there yet. Anyway, a couple of last year we had got these books from a good friend of ours, David and Bonnie Sloanen. I had David on the show about a year or so ago. He's an artist out in New York City. Well, he lives in Indiana, but he has a Sloanen studio that it's it I don't know what's New York. It's been a while, but it's he has work. His artwork is shown in galleries in New York. Well, as couples, we were talking about relationships and stuff, so they sent me these books. So I'm going to read to you one of the things about from the book for women only, and I'm reading it because it like gives you pointers on what to do and what not to do with your man. Some of us know things already, but then there's some things that kind of make sense. They just kind of click. I've been married for a long time, and my husband and I have a really good relationship. Valentine's Day is really not a very, very special day for us, but we try to give each other cards, and I try to give him a new teddy bear every year. Matter of fact, I was like, you know what? I don't even know what I think he's got every teddy bear in the book. But anyway, I'm going to read a couple of things from this book, how for women only. Now, I'm reading this about men because men is always boo-hooing about, oh, Valentine's Day is not for us, it's for women and stuff. So this is for women on tips for their man. And then on Wednesday, I'll read the one for men for women. So I'm doing the men first, okay? This one it says, number one, respect his judgment, okay? Men were really touchy about this. Now, this artist, Shantae Fieldhead, she did a survey with a whole bunch of men and got these opinions. So a man deeply needs a woman in his life to respect his knowledge, opinions, and decisions, what I would call his judgment. No one wanted a silent wallflower, nor will I advocate becoming one, but many men wish their mates wouldn't question their knowledge or argue with their decisions all the time. It's a touchy and difficult thing in this liberated days, but what what it really comes down to is their need for us to defer to them sometimes. So that's one of them, and it goes on. It says, number two, I'm going to go ahead to number two. Number two, respect his ability. Another strong theme that emerged was that men even need to figure out things for themselves. And if they can, they feel like they have conquered something and are affirmed as men. For some reasons, spending hours figuring out how to put together the DVD player is fun. Problem is, we want to help them, and guess how they interrupt that. You got it? Distrust. I wonder if I wonder any relationship work and that the human race didn't die out of the millennia ago. Well, I didn't get that one. And of course, our attention is not on being benign. Sometimes we truly don't have confidence that our men can figure things out on their own. On the survey, one man wished he could tell his wife, have confidence in my general abilities of learning, application, fixing, rebuilding, repair, etc., without having to do it your way because you know it and I think I don't. And you think that I don't. So that is a problem. Honey, will you please just ask? The problem is we want to help them, And guess how they interrupt that? You got it, distrust. So they interpret that, excuse me, to interrupt. They interpret that as distrust. When we say we want to help them, they interpret it as you don't trust that I know how to do it. Well, sometimes we're right because you know. But I won't get. There's some things you know, but there's a lot of things that women know because we're clever. We're clever creatures. Okay. Says, honey, would you please just ask? In turn, it turns out that that old joke about men never wanting to stop and ask for directions is based on the truth that men love figuring things out for themselves. If they can't find their way through the hazards of the concrete jungle with only a tattered map in their wits, they feel like they conquered something. They feel affirmed, excited, encouraged, and alive. Realizing that now, put yourself in the realizing that, she says, now put yourself in the man's shoes and listen to this phrase. Honey, can we please just stop and ask for directions? While your overwhelming impulse is simply to get practical help, his is to conquer Everest. Thank you very much. And here you are telling him that you don't believe that he could do it. And remember how important it is to a guy that his mate believes in him. When you tell him to ask for when you tell him to ask for directions, you're telling him point blank you don't trust him to figure it out for himself. Now, if you're like me, you're probably saying to yourself, you're right, I don't. How on earth could he know how to find the highway entrance in the maze of the streets? Well, there you have it, don't you? Are you going to decide to trust him or not? This particular I will trust him question is just a metaphor for all the little trust choices we make. I've talked to a dozen men about this, and here is their near unanimous question. Let him do it. Several men said something like, I'm not an idiot, okay? If I didn't think I could find it, what was I looking for? Why would I be trying? One said. One said, I may not have an idea where I'm going, but it's fun. It's challenging to try to find my own way. And I'm not stupid. I've got a clock on the dashboard. I know whether we're going to be there late or not. Okay. Now that it says, don't tell him how. So it says the next time your husband stubbornly drives in circles, ask yourself which is more important, being on time to the party or him feeling trusted. Which one is more important? I don't know. I guess I play kind of a devil's advocate here because I would be like, um, what would he do to me? If I was made him late for a party, which 9 times out of 10 I do, he's upset. He's upset, right? So why can't I be upset? If I got out the house on time and I got myself dressed, and it's not very likely that I'm on time, that we get to do this, and you get yourself lost. Now we're late, not because of me, but because of you. So why shouldn't I get upset? Why can't I get a chance to do that? You're telling me here to it's most importantly that we don't. So okay, so and then it says, don't tell him how. It says in 1984, the movie The Natural provides a powerful example of a woman's respect for a man. Robert Redford plays an amazing baseball talent who, after mysteriously losing his girlfriend and dropping out of sight for years, has finally gotten into the major leagues. After taking the world by storm, he suddenly hits a humiliating slump and starts doubting himself. In one more powerful scene, his old flame watches him from the stands strike out. Again and again, when he was dispirited, Redford comes up for his final at the bat. Too scattered boos from the crowd, he suddenly stands up alone. Alone in the stands, somehow he senses her presence awakes from his slumber and slams a home run, reigniting his passion in his game. One man explaining why he loves the scene said, "She just stood up and supported him. She didn't come down from the stand and tell him what to do or how to fix it, what was wrong. She didn't tell him how to hold his bat. She just supported him and let him figure it out." Another man agreed. She stood up publicly and said, she stood up and publicly said, "I know you can do it." For any man, especially if he is in a season of self doubt, that is exactly what he needs to be able to hit a home run in life, hit the home run of life. That makes a lot of sense. She's very sensible. She stood up publicly and said, "I know you could do it," just by her stand. She silently just supported him and said, "I know you could do it," without hearing our mouth. As my husband said, without yakking. And it's not just your husband that says that; it's your man, your your mate, that says that who's ever is less dominant one in the relationship. You're gonna hear some yakking. Ladies, it is so easy for us to bristle at this idea and say, "Why can't I tell him to hold his bat? Why can't I tell him how to hold his bat? We're equal partners. What if I know better than he does?" Well, of course, you can tell him. Most of us are perfectly competent to advise our men of all sorts of areas. But remember, he's the one up to bat with his feeling of competency on the line. True, advice usually isn't a problem, but advice can quickly become an instruction. And there we go again, trying to get the batter's box to do it for him, implying he can't do it himself. Even thinking about this makes me cringe because it reminds me of the times I've inadvertently sent the message that I don't believe in my husband. Too often during Jeff's times of self doubt with business, I have tried to support him with good advice, good constructive advice, mind you, but I notice that often demoralizes him more than it helps. To him, it meant that the person who knew him best didn't believe he could do it. What he was most needed for was for me to simply stand up and say, "I know you can do it." See, I've been studying men for 10 years and still mess up often. Maybe in 11 years I finally get it. Okay, so that was just some of it from the book. I'll be reading it, parts of it. That was number two, where it says stand up for your man. But one thing that lies true is that women, we need to feel like we're loved. We do. We need to feel like we're loved. We need to feel that you love us. And I know men is like, "Dang, well, she knows I love her." We gotta hear it. I'm serious. We gotta hear it, or there has to be some form of silent action to let us know. At least every 3 months. Let's see, every quarterly out the year. I mean, when you're in a new relationship, it's there all the time. But then after a couple of years, you don't see it as much. But women, we need to know that we're loved. We need to know that, and men need to feel respected. They put respect before love. They love you, yes, but they want you to respect them. If you notice, most men that aren't respected by their girlfriends or wives or significant others, it's something about them that they don't have that sense of confidence. Oh, they know you love them, but you don't respect them. So it's really important, and it's really something, the difference in the way women and men think. And on that note, I'm going to go to another song. I'm going to go to Jake Aldridge, and I will be back. Hopefully, my guest will be here, and I can talk to him because I need a break. I need to get this nose, this nasal thing together. So I will be back. And in the meantime, Jake Aldridge is going to be there. It's going to be there with his song. It's going to be here with his song. I'll be there. I'll be back.